Okay, let's start. Let me present something else, because that's not the thing I'm going to teach. There was some specific PPT I have created for you guys in order to, give you some sauce, some esoteric sauce. I hope my screen is visible. Okay. Is that screen visible to all you guys? Make sure you're giving me some kind of feedback so, I don't fuck up with, some recording issues. It's visible, right? The screen is visible. All right. I hope so. The screen is visible. So I got a lot of people are just hopping in. I think we should wait. we should wait for them before we start this esoteric masterclass. All right. So I want to welcome all of you guys for joining this masterclass that is paid by my man, you know, my man Neo. Okay, shout out to my man Neo. Is Neo here? You know, is my bro. Is my brother Neo here? No man, a lot of people are joining. I just saw a new idea. I think so. My man Neo, if you are watching this, shout out to you. Okay, shout out for paying for you guys esoteric masterclass fees. Uh, I think that what I should call it. You know, nah man, these people are getting irritating. I have to manually let them enter, and it's kind of disturbing. So so first of all, before starting this esoteric masterclass, I know most of you are going to be skeptic about this thing, this manifestation and law of attraction kind of shit. And I kind of relate to it because I too started with being a skeptic in this mindset stuff. Then I started using it, and it just started working for me. And then I created a system out of what worked for me, and I taught others. I mentored others, and they start using it, and it too start working for them for some reason. And as you know that if something is working enough time, that means it will. I mean, you can just assume at the point where it starts working for everyone, so that if you use it, it's going to work for you too. Okay. A- and if you ask me like what's the reason behind this, all this woo stuff, like why this work, and you know is there any science behind it? Although there was a lot of researches related to how this thing works. There was some physics based from the physics, you know I mean, there were researchers, some from physics and some from neuroscience, and the classic psychology studies. So these things prove the concept of manifestation and law of attraction. Although you don't have to believe on this manifestation thing, if it works for you, then you don't even bother. You know, don't even bother to prove the fact that this thing will work for. I mean, is this thing scientific or not? If this work for you, okay. Mind my English, because first of all, I'm not native to the US or kind of the English speaking countries, the European countries, or from the states. I'm not from there, so mind my English and try to manage it. Okay. So just you have to, oh, and it's kind of getting distracting. A lot of people are joining in. So just realize the fact that it's not going to matter if it's, you know, if this thing scientific or not, if it's working for you. Okay. And although if you know me, then I mostly use the thing that is kind of practical. Okay. That is practical, and you can prove it by science from multidisciplinary perspective. So you don't have to worry about the legitimacy of this thing or not. You just have to follow the instruction I will give you here, and you can manifest some good stuff, good shit with this thing. This is the sauce I'm giving you. So let's start this masterclass, this esoteric masterclass. Now, and this you know this pop-up sound is literally getting into my nerves. Just wait a second, let me admit other people too. So first of all, you have to realize something, that the manifestation and all the occult stuff, okay, that are kind of woo-woo shit. It can be some kind of magic. Okay, it can be magic, and it can be some, all the stuff you have heard around, you know, on internet about this turning thoughts into reality, or any new age things related to this law of attraction and manifestation stuff. Just drop all the beliefs you have from the from your experiences that you have gathered on internet, and I will tell you what's manifestation look like for me. Okay, what's manifestation look like for me, and then if you want to adopt my belief, of course you can, and if you don't, then you just believe whatever you want to believe. you know as I told you, if it's working for you, then you won't even bother proving it, because it's working for you, and it's benefiting you in a lot of ways, making you rich, and making you healthy, both you know emotionally and physically. So just nah, man, I'm literally fumbling kind of. Okay. So what's manifestation mean for me is basically you train your nervous system. Okay. Is the thing I am you know teaching manifestation uh, has a root from the eastern part of esotericism. Okay. From the Hinduism and Buddhism cultures, and it was kind of rooted from the yoga. Okay, it was rooted from the yoga, and inside that yoga, they have a part that is kind of really woo woo. Okay, and it's called the tantra. Okay, tantra is any energy that is focused, and you focus your energy to a point where you can do whatever you can do whatever you want with it. So the root are from the yogas, and inside that yogas is coming from the tantra part. Okay, and beneath that tantra, it got another part of the yoga that is the kundalini. Okay, the kundalini part of the yoga. And the thing about kundalini is it works on your physiological system. Okay, uh, the beliefs of the kundalini is you know that your whole physiology, okay, your whole body is the consciousness itself. Okay, your whole body is the consciousness itself. Like whatever you perceive from outside, it's a reflection of your inside, and the inside is nothing but your body. Okay, and what I mean by body is your whole physiological systems, and your body is a really complex mechanism. Okay, there was still a lot of researches going on that is unable to prove the miracles of the body. Like there were some stories about people growing limbs after after their hands got you know what do you call that in English? I just you know I just don't have a word for it. Like if they lost their limbs on accident something, then there was some research, I mean there was some miraculous thing where their body just start to produce some kind of short, I, I, I'm not calling this short, but it just start to regrow for some reason. Yep, organ regeneration. Yep, there was some some miracles that really happens like them. Okay, and still the science didn't catch up to a point where you know I mean they just don't know how that thing is happening. Okay, there was some kind of you know kind of scenarios like that throughout the history, and that all roots to your body. Okay, your body is the whole consciousness, your body is a whole complex system, and if you want to call your body god, you can. Okay, I'm not uh, I would not frame it as a god, but more of a like temple. Okay, like there was some kind of consciousness. Okay, there was some kind of consciousness where everything is connected to each other. Okay, scientifically not possible for humans. Only few things like fingerprint on hand no, there was some there was some story throughout history where people actually have regrowed their limbs. That thing are real. Okay, this thing are real. Scientifically till now it's not that's not possible. As I told you, like science always take time to catch up. So there were a lot of magical things that exist, and science didn't catch up to it. Like if we talk about meditation, let's just look at meditation, right? Let's just look at meditation, and if we you know if we go back to 10 to 20 years ago, when meditation was, I mean it was literally considered a mystical practice. Okay, it was at that time it was literally considered a mystical practice. Like people thought that it was some kind of really you know kind of magical thing and kind of like that. Okay, and the West was quite shocked about how this thing is happening to people. Like there were some yogis who are able to do some kind of I don't think I won't call it magical stuff, but they were able to perform at a level where it feels really odd. Okay, it feels really magical and it feels really superhuman. Because your body, I just told you, right? Your body is kind of like a temple. Like it is a really complex system. Okay. Yep, you can call it siddhis. Okay. Although there was some something in siddhis that are really, it's way more than it even, I won't even bother, you know, discussing about them. Like, you know, and there was some particular kind of siddhi, like you can become invisible to things, and there were also some really weird kind of siddhis about you can turn into animals and all. This thing exists. I think so. Okay, I think so. This thing exists. Like my research from witchcraft. Okay, I will tell you something from. I will give you a source from the witchcraft. Okay, so you all guys have heard about witches can shapeshift, right? And there was something I will tell you that will blow your mind, like how they do it. Okay, I will give you some kind of source from it. So the way any witch, okay, the way any witch can shape shift is not going to happen until that witch leave until that witch leave her body. Okay, physically she can't turn into any animal or cat something, but metaphysically or in astral level she can. Okay, like if she want to shape shift, she can't directly just convert her body into you know convert her body into cat or some kind of animal. But instead what she can do is she can get into a really deep state where she can access the psychic part, and she can transfer her consciousness to some kind of animal. Okay, animal nearby. Especially it was specially seen in the people who do vikas or the nature based magic. Okay, and what about the the things that was presented in the movies where a witch just turn into some animal kind of thing. So there was a reason for it. Like, the witch actually has to die on on a physical level. Okay, she has to die in order to access her whole psychic powers and all. So like, if some kind of witch want to actually shapeshift, like the one that you saw in movies, she actually has to die first. I mean, she actually has to die first. Like, when she will die, then she can unlock her whole, I mean, she will become beyond her physical body. So she can become some kind of spirit, some evil spirit, whatever you want to call it. And she would be able to, access way more power that her physical body is limited. Like, she can now travel her consciousness at a really faster rate to people, to people and animals. It was easier to possess animal because they don't have any reasoning, so they can't fight the reason. I mean, they can't fight the will of some possession. So it's easier to possess animals because they don't have that, you know, high spiritual force. And also in people. But what use of it in our personal? I don't know, man. I never met a witch, so I can't tell. Okay. And what about spells? Okay, what about spells and this, you guys can refer it as black magic, where we curse someone. And uh in Eastern tradition there was a a really weird shit about curses. Okay, like, if they curse you, and then you know your life will turn blah 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 xyz, whatever you want to fill it with. Well, are curses real? Well, yep, they are. And I will tell you a reason, like, how curses work. Okay. And if you want, you can also banish curses. Okay. There was some mind science too to this a curse thing, and also there was some physical thing to it. So what happens in this curse thing is the medium of the curse. Okay, especially if you want to curse someone, you have to call a spirit. Okay, call an existing spirit or a thought form in order to curse someone. Cause the way the curses work is, from a real scientific level, is you got like layers of your brain. Okay, you got layers of your brain. And like, we got the conscious, we got the subconscious, and then we got the unconscious, then we got the superconscious. And then at the last we enter the akasha one. Okay, where we enter the non-duality, and we realized our you know god consciousness, whatever you want to call it. So what happens in this curse thing is, that person, okay, that baba or the witch who is giving you curse, is going, I mean, that person will always try to hit your unconscious mind. I think there was a story also in the book Psycho-Cybernetics, from Maxwell Mods, I think. There was a story where a guy was cursed by African witch. Some voodoo something was casted on that person. And what happens is that that person lips start to swell as if there was some kind of cancer something. And what Maxwell Maltz did is, he just operated something, and there was just it was just some kind of tumor something. I just forgot the story, by the way. And what Maxwell Maltz did is, uh he put that person in a really hypnotic state, and just you know broken the belief that you're not cursed. It was just simple, that simple tumor or something. And what happened after that is, that guy is really now that guy become really healthy. Nothing happened to him. So whenever someone is giving you curse, it's always going to happen in unconscious level. Okay. like they will always try to hit you unconscious level. Is the curse real, bro, or just a different state of mind? Well, basically, uh, curses are real, okay, but basically you need a medium in order to, put that curse in someone mind to the unconscious level. Let's say someone have given the curse, like some yogi who's like really insane, hardcore meditator, and he know how to handle spirits. So you all guys, I hope so. You all guys believe in telepathy, okay? Like telepathy is kind of the psychic medium thing. I hope so. This thing are real. What do you guys think about it? This telepathy thing. You need tappable self sadhana power. Do you guys believe in telepathy? Telepathy and psychic medium shit. Okay, you all guys believe in it, right? So what happens is that hardcore yogi that has given the curse, if the first part of the curse haven't entered that person's subconscious, then unconscious mind, then what that person can do in order to give the curse is, I'm talking about the yogi who know how to handle spirits and psychic and working as a psychic medium, is he's going to call that thought form, and it will try to influence the cursed one thoughts, okay? Because anything that has high emotional charged, and if it was thought over and over again, especially if at the part of gnosis, okay, gnosis is the part where a window's open to your unconscious mind, okay. If anything just bypasses at that moment, what start to happen is it will start to run as an automatic program. You will not about you will I mean you will not be aware about like what's happening, but the program will keep running on it, okay. Keep running on its own. So that's how the curses work, okay. So the yogi will try to call psychic medium and start to plant thoughts, okay. And if that person entertained that thought, okay, uh, and at that time, because of the psychic medium, what will start to happen is that person thoughts will start to become kind of like OCD, okay. It will start to become obsessive and with kind of intense emotion. And what will start to happen is, if that person start to think over and over again, and especially at the time of gnosis, like maybe before sleeping, or before passing out, then if that thing enter through the window of unconscious, and that program entered that person unconscious mind, then what start to happen is that person will self-sabotage himself. He won't be aware about like what's happening, but that program in that unconscious mind will keep running on its own, and that person will destroy himself. So that's how the curses work. Can OCD help in manifestation, or uh, it will cause more desperation? Yep, it will cause more desperation. You don't have to worry about manifestation. I will give you some sauce in it, okay. And it would be enough for you to manifest some good amount of money. Of course, if you work hard and plan hard, because it's not like you just keep on thinking and you're just assuming that it will happen by itself. You have to work it right. The only thing manifestation is, the only thing manifestation can give you is a medium to the God consciousness, where you will get access to the akasha, okay, the ultimate consciousness, and you would be working as a medium to the collective conscious, not collective consciousness, but the super conscious, or God consciousness, whatever you want to call it. And you will bring some kind of information that is really weird, okay, really weird. And if you work on it, it has a higher chances to you know make fortune out of it, okay. I think a lot of people did that throughout history, like Andrew Carnegie, or you know who was that who was that guy, I forgot the name of it. Yep, Steve Jobs was one of it. you know I think I think so, he especially visited India in order to you have John D. Rockefeller. They all did this kind of stuff, where they even Albert Einstein used to do it, right? Tesla, Nikola Tesla. They all access this, you know, the Akasha aspect of their mind. Okay, they all get into, they all have a. I I saw a weird pattern where they all take some time in order to enter a really hypnotic state. Okay, that Akasha based state, and what they do is they try to pull ideas from it. Okay, and the thing is, Akasha contains like almost every information in this universe in a form of ether. And if you even get that 1,000,000.1% of the ether in, in your mind, and you take that idea seriously and work on it and build through it, it has a really great chance to, alter your 3D reality. Are you all guys getting it? How manifestation is working? The only thing manifestation can give you is, you know, access to that ether or ideas. It can't do the work for you. Okay, it can't do the work for you. It can, of course, it can use its power to, you know, align you to some specific people. It can give you intuition to, meet the people. Okay, it can give you some suggestion to this kind of people, message them, some kind of nudges, but it can't do the work for you. You have to do it yourself. And if you ask me, like, what if I was not able to, take action on this woo woo stuff? Okay, I mean the ideas that is coming from the ether. What if my body don't even support, and it just give me resistance towards the task I'm working? Then the issue would be on your, on your body, the nervous system. Okay, then the issue is going to be on your nervous system. Like, your nervous system is not on the point where it is giving you like peak energy, peak focus. Or you can say that your chakra is not aligned, your physiological system is not aligned in order to, work on that intuitions. Or you can say that you are not at the point where you are worthy of the vessel. I mean you're not a worthy vessel at this point where you can maintain the standards of your, mind. Okay, are you all guys getting it, or it's getting confusing? Okay, like, make sure to give the feedback. Okay, if Tesla access to cosmic mind, then why he ended up dying in poverty and loneliness? Cause he didn't ask for the money, right? He just asked for the ideas, and the only thing, you know Tesla asked for the ideas, and that's the only problem why he, I mean that's the only reason why he ended up broke. Okay, that's the only reason why he ended up broke and in poverty and loneliness. Because he just asked for the ideas. He didn't ask for the money. He didn't ask for the prosperity. He didn't ask for the happiness. What about David Goggins? His philosophy is simple: noble should just follow discipline. No, if you observe David Goggins, and if you have read his book, then you have realized that David is a really hardcore visualizer. You know, David was a really hardcore visualizer. You know, he used to visualize a lot. He used to do a hell lot of self-talk. All these, discipline hotheads. Oh, do you know what's the problem with them? Is they all have a active reasoning part of their brain. Okay, like one, that logical testosterone based part of the brain. Okay, I would name it as testosterone part of the brain. They have like really good reasoning. Like, they have like really logical power. They have really good logistics, but they don't have the power to access that feminine part of the brain, or the you know creative part of the brain. So what start to happen is, if these two brain are not working in harmony, then they just keep on stucking on a loop of, hamster wheel forever, a neurochemical loop. you can say. Okay. Okay, so I would give you, so, I mean, I will give you a reasoning. Okay, I will give you a reasoning about this testosterone hotheads, and I will also give you something like what will happen to them. I can predict something. Okay, like who these two guests are. I have to admit them, right? Uh, Have you ever noticed some kind of pattern where a person was really disciplined and he was like hothead, and he's working his ass off, and then suddenly what start to happen is he get really depressed, and he entered a really downhill, and then he enter some kind of religion afterwards, and then he keep on preaching like, I have found God showed me this way. Have you ever seen this kind of pattern on internet? Especially with the testosterone hotheads, by the way. Okay, have you ever seen this kind of pattern on internet? Why do you think this thing is happening? Why this thing is really common on almost every hothead, every millionaire? Why do you think this is the case? Okay, well, I will give you a sauce about why this thing happens. There was something called the law of gender. Okay, and there was actual science to it. Let's say, okay, can you know can you see this image? Okay, the Eye of Horus or the Eye of Falcon is from the Egyptian works of Egyptian works of the gods. Okay, I don't know how to represent it. Okay, but I hope so. This image is clear of the Eye of Horus. Okay, especially girls after hope face. Yep, I hope this image is clear of the Eye of Horus or Eye of Falcon. So what it represent is the eye. Okay, the eye is basically associated at the limbic part. Okay, the limbic part, and it goes downward. That is your animalistic part of your brain, the reptilian part of the brain. Okay, the limbic is the animalistic, and the reptilian is you know the reptilian part of the brain, and it's on the right side. Okay, the eye of Horus is on the right side, like one part of the brain. Okay, has the eye of Horus, and the another part of the brain is going to have the eye of Ra, and the eye of Ra is related to good luck, reasoning, discipline, and almost everything you can assume. Okay, but the thing is, if you just use the eye of Ra or the masculine side, whatever you want to call it, of course, with discipline you will have like really good luck, almost everything. But you reach a point where you feel empty even after having everything. Okay, you'll feel empty after having everything, and you know, and after that, they will enter really big depression phase, and like they will enter a existential crisis, can say. Okay, they will enter existential crisis, and do you know what's going to happen? They will enter some kind of religion, or maybe cult, in some cases, or maybe most of the cases. A lot of people enter cults at the moment where they feel like lost because of they don't know what's happening to them. They don't feel happy even after having anything, because they're using you know that right part of, I hope the left part of the brain, left part of the brain too much, the masculine side too much, that they forgot that they start to forget that they have that, the eye of Horus too. And the eye of Horus is related to the moon, the kind of subconscious or the feminine aspect. Okay, and it is also related to your deserving. Okay, deserving feeling of belonging, or creating emotions that make you feel safe. Also, there was some physical part, physical aspect in your body too that is related to that thing. They all connect to each other, so you know you don't have to worry about it. But I hope so you all guys are getting it, like what I'm trying to say. Okay, like all this hot head or on internet, they will all end a crisis. Okay, the masculine figures that you know that you put on pedestal, they will all enter some kind of this quote unquote existential crisis if they don't aspect their feminine part of it. Okay, the right iophorus part of it, because this is the part where you can face your darkest emotion, deepest emotion, and you can actually understand it and process it, because this is the part where it happens. And this is kind of like, how would I associate it with, I don't have analogy or metaphor to associate this eye of falcon with. I think you can call it a womb. Okay, a womb. You know, I think that's the only metaphor or association I have in this Iophorus thing. This this is where your fears and almost every deep emotions exist. Okay, and most people who ignore it, especially the hotheads, they face some really kind of serious shit. Okay, so we were covering law. Okay, what do you call it? Yep, law of gender, right? So yep, yeah, I have to understand. I mean, I have to teach you guys that too, right? So okay, so you can say that the left part of your brain, that is your masculine part, or testosterone head, you can call it. Okay, that is the eye of Ra. Okay, so what that eye of Ra will do is, when something with high emotion you know enters your subconscious, or you can call it the iophorus, or the creative part of the brain. This is where the ideas forms, by the way. This is the part of the brain where your ideas forms. Okay, and if you keep on you know if you keep on entertaining some particular kind of emotional ideas, what start to happen is your left side of the brain, IFRA, will start to work as a bloodhound. Okay, a bloodhound that will start to look for things on the reality to prove your you know this eye of you know I'm the idea that is planted on the subconscious mind. Are you guys catching up to my stuff? Yep, all by itself. Like I told you, right? Your whole body is a really you know complex system, and you know there are a lot of things we don't know about it. A lot of things that can happen. You know, it's like really unexplored part of some kind of dungeon. So till now, with all the yapping, you just have to understand something, that you have two part of the brain, and the right side, that is your feminine side. First of all, don't ignore any part of the brain. Okay, both the masculine and feminine, the duality, duality of gender is going to be there. Okay, I think you all guys have faced some kind of you know feminine aspect in yourself too, because you're not pure. Okay, you're not a kind of pure gender based thing. Okay, you're both. Okay, you have both kind of brain that has its own role. How would we know if we are working on both sides? Well, you don't have to know about like which side is working, because This do have its own role. For now, just realize that the the subconscious, that is your the iophorus part or the creative part, is the part where you plant something, plant any idea, and you know the logic part is the part where you make that ideas come true. Okay, and you can't make something come true if it's not in your subconscious. Okay, like idea has you know to be dropped in your subconscious in order to kind of put into reality. You have to you have to first drop it in your subconscious, then you have to work on it. You can't work on something or decide something without changing your subconscious. And if you try to it, the most likely you're going to fail, because old programs are going to stop you, and you'll fuck it up, or you won't even bother looking at you know looking at it or working on it. Because that's how this thing work. Are you guys putting it in a subconscious residual or manifestation? Well, we can put we can put ideas on I mean subconscious by doing almost anything. Okay, just make sure that it contains a really really high emotions similar to kind of trauma, but make sure it's positive if you want to attract good stuff. Then if you start working for it consciously, then your mind is going to support you in order to make this thing come true. Okay, make the thing you know that you have planted on your subconscious come true. Like you always have to first prioritize the feminine. Okay, the womb. Okay, the womb. And then you have to use your conscious in order to you know make that thing come true. I mean, there was a particular esoteric saying, and I don't know how will you perceive it, because I think so. Lot of people nowadays are kind of misogynistic. Okay, but if you look within yourself, then you will realize something, that men were always built to serve. Like the masculine was always built to serve the feminine. Okay, it was always built to you know like in history, if you look, if you just observe the patterns of how male works, was basically you know like the males usually do almost everything for women. Okay, like like they used to go on war because for beautiful women, kind of. There was a saying, like it's hard to express for me, because you know first of all, English is not a first language, but I hope you're getting the idea. Okay, like everything a man does is for a woman, and the woman is not like you know an actual woman. What I mean by is, that is a subconscious. Okay, like your conscious will follow your subconscious. Okay, the thing about conscious mind is, it is built to follow the orders, and the subconscious is to is the part where you plant your orders, and the conscious will work on itself. Am I fumbling bad, or are you guys? I hope you all guys are getting it. Okay. So if you want to work on something, you have to first drop any idea on subconscious. Okay. For brother and integrity too, they wage wars. Yep. But I don't think brotherhood is the main reason. It was mostly because of women most of the times, 90% of times. But brotherhood was one of the reason. But you can't fuck your brothers, right? You're getting it. Most of the time, it was because of women. Like a lot of brotherhood were broken because of kind of women, because male are more receptive to listen, you know, listen to feminine. Okay, I thought you won't say it, but you did. Primal instinct. Yep. I mean, your whole biology is built to, follow orders of women. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like kind of feminist guy, but you know, that's that's how. If you observe in yourself, what do you think that why you are mainly motivated with? If you don't have any, okay, right? Mass sigma thingy got offended. Yep. And what I mean by feminist, I'm not talking about some actual woman. I'm talking about the, kind of dual genders of your brain. Okay, like the first will always be the subconscious, and then if you use your conscious, then it will work. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Like if you want to work on something and you don't have any intense emotion on, working on something, then you're going to stop midway, or you will enter any existential crisis. And there was a reason, like a lot of people get success after, you know marrying someone, someone worthy to them, that supports them. Or a lot of men are there too, that got their life destroyed by marrying some, you know wrong person, because, I just told you how this thing is working. You all guys are getting it right. First, there always should be subconscious, and then after that you have to use your conscious logic, and you have to put them into reality. Okay, have you guys ever entered a moment where you enter like really peak flow state? Okay, like you are literally ignoring everything, every distraction, every addictions, and uh you're working on your stuff like really hard with really focus. And if you observe at that time, all guys have like really intense emotion. Okay, if you are observing yourself, you all guys have felt like really intense emotion. You have feel like clarity is just coming, automatically in a really faster state, and your body is literally supporting. Yep, it also happens on breakup and all. And at that moment, what usually happens, by the way, what usually happens is something that you've been procrastinating a lot for, maybe months or years. When you start to think about it, it start to generate like really intense emotion. Okay, it start to generate like really intense emotion. And if you observe at the moment where you have felt like really peak flow state, the moment of breakthrough is always some kind of intense emotion, because the intense emotion forces you to associate with something. Okay, like when people face breakup and all this kind of thing, what the coping mechanism, I mean, what the basic coping mechanism for a responsible person or responsible male is to find God at the moment, or find some kind of purpose, you know, some something to serve on. Okay, like they have to find some kind of female, you know, female. I don't think. I mean, they have to find their woman. Okay, what I mean with woman is not like actual woman. What I mean with woman is purpose, something to serve on. Okay, like I told you, like the male mind is the warrior. Okay, the male mind is the one who will, who will go on the wars, and the subconscious, or the, you know that feminine part of the brain is going to be your, you know the reason. Okay, the reason of why that, you know conscious is going on the war. Is the analogy getting, too hard to, absorb, or are you guys getting it? I hope so you guys are getting it right. Yep, you guys are getting it all right. It was like it was kind of odd ideas. Okay, it was really unconventional ideas, but that's how we work. Okay, we need some kind of thing to put, you know, put on our top. If you want to call it God, or if you want to call it purpose, you can call it whatever you want, but you need something. I mean, your conscience needs something to serve, you know. Like if you go to that Christian traditions, they call it Father. Okay, the Holy Father, something like the son have to serve the father. You got it? But the attachment fade away after some time. What do you mean by attachment? Like you can't feel attached when you're serving someone, by the way. Okay, the attachment will only fade away if, you know, if you have achieved that thing. Okay, like you are at a point where you are at like really hard situation. Okay, and you know that you have to make it, or you're going to die. Like there was a scene from Fight Club, I think so. Okay, let me open my Instagram, by the way. Someone just shared on a mentorship, few weeks ago. I will show you something, a scene from Fight Club, by the way. Okay. If anyone can send me that particular scene, like if you're getting it, like which scene I'm referring to, just do so. Yep, do send that scene, okay? Like I want to show you guys something, like what I'm talking to. But till now, just realize that you need something to serve, okay? Something higher to serve. When you serve something higher to yourself, what start to happen is, first of all, the brain connection that generate a hell of the oxytocin will start to fire up. That will just make you literally selfless. Okay, when you become selfless, when you get this associated from your ego, you start to enter flow. You are getting it right? You guys are getting it? I hope so. Let me find that video. I have to show you guys in this, in this session itself. It's really important in order for you to make the rest out of, your life, and to show you what purpose look like. Send in cute group chat. No man, I will show you. You don't have to worry about it. Okay guys, can you see it? Okay, is that visible? I hope so.
Raymond, you're going to die.
Yep.
What did you want to be, Raymond K. Hessel? Raymond!
Let me send you guys on,
Was what did you want to be? The question. Answer.
Yep, that reel.
Raymond. Animals. Yeah, animals. Stuff. Yeah, I got that. The That means you have to get more schooling. Too much school.
You know, I hope so. The thing is visual. This is the part where Raymond got a reasoning like too much school, like he just told Tyler like it's too much school, like too much work, right? And you all guys have that reasoning of Raymond, like why you are procrastinating on something. There was some kind of reason, you know, when you want to do something, there was some kind of reason, like why you can't do that thing. Like if I want you guys to, you know, if I tell you guys to start something, every one of you will have a reason to not do that thing, okay? And the only way to bypass that reasoning is to have like intense emotion, like really intense emotion. And the only thing that can produce that intense emotion is by serving to something that is higher than yourself. Okay, first let me complete this, reel. And if you can watch it, like for mine is lagging here. For yourself, I think someone just sent on the cute group, right? You can watch from there.
Would you rather be dead? No. Would you rather die here? On your knees in the back of a convenience store? I'm keeping your license. Gonna check in on you. I know where you live. If you're not on your way to becoming a veterinarian in 6 weeks, you will be dead. Now run on home.
That wasn't funny. What the fuck was the point of that?
Tomorrow will be the most beautiful day of Raymond Castle's life. His breakfast will taste better than any meal you and I ever tasted. Raymond,
Okay,
you're
let
going
me
to
let me
die.
show that again, because
What did you want to be, Raymond K. Hessel? Raymond was what did you want to be? The question.
Answering, Raymond.
Veterinarian. Animals. Yeah, animals. Stuff. Yeah, I got that. That means you have to get more schooling. Too much school. Would you rather be dead? No. Would you rather die here on your knees in the back of a convenience store? I'm keeping your license. Gonna check in on you. I know where you live. If you're not on your way to becoming a veterinarian in 6 weeks, you will be dead. Now run on home.
That wasn't funny. What the fuck was the point of that?
Tomorrow will be the most beautiful day of Raymond Castle's life. His breakfast will taste better than any meal you and I ever tasted. Raymond.
so I was disconnected at the moment. I don't know what happened to, you know, what happened to my PC, but something happened and it got disconnected. But I hope so. You all guys, have seen that, seen the thing I shared on. And the point I was trying to make, the point I was trying to make is that you need something, okay, something higher than yourself, okay. You need something higher than yourself that that can generate intense emotion, okay, that can generate intense emotion. And what that intense emotion is going to do is is going to just push you to pass your limits, okay. What's the correlation of serving something higher? Well, there was a particular neuroscience to it. Like it was basically from the grit, okay. If you don't know what grit is, just search on Google or something, like what grit is. So There was some researches on grit, like when we do something for something, okay, or not something for something, but something for someone higher than ourselves. And if we truly love that thing, okay, if that thing is really important, like really, really important, and it's related to our loved ones or anything, okay, kind of like that, then what start to happen is the pathway associated with your serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin, it's going to flood you with a lot of neurochemicals. Okay, like uh, if I ask you, what's your vision, then almost all of you guys have someone on your vision. Okay, all of you guys are going to have someone on your vision. You know, it's never going to be just alone, you sitting on somewhere. It's always going to be maybe with family, or maybe with your kids, or something like that. Okay, and whatever you visualize without someone, it feels really shallow if you have observed it. Have anyone observed this kind of feeling? Okay, if you visualize just cars or materialistic thing, then it's going to feel really shallow if you compare to visualization with visualizing with living with your family, like living a happy life, something. Have you ever faced some kind of things, I mean, this kind of situation? Okay. Yep, you guys have faced it, right? Like one of the guys just raised his hand. So that's the reason why we serve to something higher than ourselves. It can be God, it can be uh, it can be your goal, it can be giving your family something, or living a vision where you know all of your family are living healthily, happy. There's kind of what this kind of visions, when they drop into subconscious, and when you use your conscious to put them into reality, then the thing that will happen to your body is going to be really different. Okay, the oxytocin, dopamine, and you know the serotonin circuit is going to flood you with intense energy. Okay, and there was a thing about in self-help, like people talk about having your why, right? And having your why is simple. And I mean, it's just simple. If you want to sum up it in a word, is do something, do something what you love, and for. Okay, for who? Okay, it depends on you, who is the person, or anything. But do something you love, do something for. Okay, you never, you know, human nature are never kind of being selfish. Okay, it was never about being selfish. Okay, if you think you're selfish, nah, man, you are not. I'm telling you, ruin your heart. Like, you always have someone that you can, that you love more than yourself. It can be your dad, it can be your mom, you know, it can be some, your upcoming kids, you know, a happy family, but it's not going to be selfish. Okay, I'm telling you, I'm literally telling you, like, y- all of your goals is going to contain some kind of person. Okay, and if it don't have any person, it will feel shallow. Okay, and you need that in order to drop that idea in your subconscious. And if you put your subconscious, like, then you create plans, then you try to make it work, then it will work, because the idea have already bypassed the unconscious and is now working on itself. That's how the law of gender is working on, you know working working with each other, okay, in harmony in order to help you manifest things. The person that can be myself too, if not someone else. Well, a part of you can be there, like, when I was doing this kind of shadow work coaching and all this thing. So there was a particular practice like people used to do, that is, they do things for themselves but not for themselves. Like, they just believe that when they are doing some kind of good things, they are serving, they are serving and nurturing their younger self that never have been loved before, and kind of like that had been abused by their parents or people, something. Okay, you can do that if you want. Okay, but I don't think, like, just assuming that you're doing for yourself, you will feel nothing, by the way, if you're doing that for yourself. It has to be someone, it has to be someone. Okay, what about a duality? One want to achieve the vision, and another don't want to do it. Well, that's not a duality, by the way. Okay, that's the separate system that is working on, that working on the way. Okay, you can call it shadow, but I will tell you something about procrastination. I think that guy is telling about inertia, or kind of in general, it's, I think he's mentioning about resistance. Like, he want to do something but he can't able to, put your body into motion in order to do something. And there was two particular reasons like why this thing happens. So let me give you an idea, like, why this thing happens. So okay, if we talk about resistance, okay, so there was particular two type resistance that you would face throughout the lifetime. And the one is the cybernetic or logical resistance, and the second one is your inertia. Inertia is the part where your body, okay, your body will try to save you, but your higher self will try to, push his limits. Okay, that is inertia. So uh, if your reason is not enough, okay, or maybe your higher self system is not powerful enough, then your animalistic or reptilian part or animal part will take over, and you'll feel resistance, and you will keep on procrastinating and self-sabotaging yourself. Okay, I will give you an case study about this thing. uh have you ever heard or seen cases similar to that, where, you know a father or a parent I mean, some guy, some really chain smoker and addict, just become a child to someone. Okay, not child to someone. I mean, he just, have someone. You know, I mean, it's a how to uh, how to tell you in English. By the way, let me process something. Okay, then I will tell you what I'm trying to express. So I think you have heard some kind of, some experiences or cases similar to that, where a really bad chain smoker and he got a really bad life. But when he realized that he's having a kid, okay, he's having a baby, okay, he's going to be a father or a parent, then his behavior start to change. Like, he start to realize that, you know something start to happen in his body and his mind, where, you know he realized that he have to change. Okay, he have to change, and then he completely changed his life in order to become a better person for that person. Yep, higher self is locked in there. S- Remember, I just explained you guys, like, when any idea dropped, when you do something for others, like when you try to serve something for others, when you try to manifest a desired reality where we have people we love, okay, that contains people we love, and we try to manifest it, and when you drop our subconscious, then, you know when you put your conscious into work, then, it start to flow because of the, circuits of oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonins, and all this kind of thing. You can call it sense of responsibility, but I call it grit. Okay, I can help you with inertia, but psychological or cybernetic resistance is going to be quite hard. Okay, like when you have like trauma and all this conditioning, then it's going to be really hard for you. Then you should seek out some therapist and all this thing. Okay, all this kind of people who can help you. Okay, if you're going for shadow work, I no longer teach shadow work. Okay, I used to do that, but it's really kind of you take that really bad vibes from the story you listen. You know, you listen from them. The sad stories and all, and it's really pain in the ass to fix that. So fix out yourself if that's psychological or cybernetic resistance. But if it's inertia, okay, like your higher self is the resistance can be because of the old identity or past self. It can be of past self. Okay, I don't think it's going to be past self. Most of the time it's inertia. Okay, it's like body natural response to doing things. I will give you an example to identify like which one is psychological and cybernetic and which one is inertia. If you want to know if it's cybernetic or not, just realize the fact that you would had oh my god, like my voice started to break. Let me fix it quick. Okay, if you want to know like if that thing is cybernetic or psychological or if it's inertia, well, you can check your feeling by the way. You can put mindfulness on it and observe your feeling, like what you feel about that, what you feel about that particular thing that you are having resistance to. Are you okay? Let's say someone want to give a speech. Okay, someone want to give a speech, a public speech, and it's important for him. And when he try to go to speech, he feels something else that he have felt before. Okay, he have felt before because of some kind of traumatic event, like really bad event. Maybe his parent just abusive and they beat his ass off when he tried to speak and they laughed on him and kind of like that. Okay, you have to check the feelings, like if that thing is really I mean, have you felt that thing before? Okay, you have to ask yourself, have you felt somewhere before? To figure out like if it's psychological procrastination or inertia. Inertia is easy, by the way. Okay, I will tell you to fix the kind of inertia battle of it. Okay, because the thing is really easy to solve, the inertia one. Okay, but if it's complex and cybernetic, then you have to seek out therapist for it. By the way, if you want to fix inertia or body natural response to work, then just realize the fact that the battle that you would face with inertia is not going to be the forever battle. It's just going to be the transition phase. Okay, when you're shifting from an distracted state to you know a flow state or focus state, it takes time. Okay, it takes time. And what do I mean by takes time is transitions. Okay, let's say if you're procrastinating on something, but if you start working on it for maybe 10 minutes or 40 minutes, then momentum start to kick in. You guys are getting it right? So just realize the fact that if you want to break inertia, you just have to you know be used to the initial discomfort for around 10 minutes or 15 minutes, then force yourself to single task and you would enter flow by yourself. But what about just taking action, by the way, like the inertia related to taking the action, like you want to take some action but you're not just able to move your body. What about this kind of procrastination? Well, it usually happen because of the thing called vagueness loop. Okay. uh, it's from the it's from neuroscience, I think so. Okay. Vagueness loop is the part where you don't know like what to do in that task. Okay. Let's say you will tell to yourself like I want to work on something. Then i- your mind will automatically procrastinate on it. But if you tell yourself like, okay, in order to do that thing, I have to get out of my bed, I have to set up my PC, and at that PC I have to, you know I have to set a folder, and in that folder I have to download three PDF, and I have to put that PDF in 1 to 3 order, and then I have to read the page, and then you immediately take the first action within 1 second, and you keep on taking actions within 1 second. Then what start to happen is you just congratulations, you have broken your procrastination loop. So this is how we break inertia. But if you talk about like the cybernetic resistance, then it's going to be quite hard. Okay, you may have like unconscious trauma, and I mean, I would recommend you to just you know feel like what you are feeling about that particular thing, and have you felt it before? Some people associate shame with not being able to work, and what start to happen is when they keep on feeling that same kind of emotion over and over again, then you know they form a really bad loop of starting the task. Like whenever they will try to start the task, they will feel some weird kind of shame. Okay, because they within inside they know that they won't be able to perform the standards. They won't be able to keep the standards. That's why they are feeling shame. So these are kind of complex. You know, you have to seek therapist for it, and or you can find someone who can fix that for you. Although you don't have to worry about it. It's not going to be like most of the case. You know, most of the cases is going to be your inertia, like the body basic response to work, good and good procrastination, whatever you want to call it. Just make it concrete. We think concrete, and try to face the discomfort for maybe 10 minutes or 40 minutes something, until you pass through the transition of from distracted to focus, and you and to try to take action fast as possible, maybe within 1 second and all, and you will be good enough. Okay. So let me give you something else. Okay. Something else, and I mean something. Let me give you something else too. Okay, and it's related to that gender one that we have literally you know, yapped for about an hour, I think so. Let me give you something practical to do. Okay, and listen them well. Like just hear me out. Like what you have to do in order to you know put things in your subconscious, so that it bypasses your unconscious, and then you keep working and keep planning and using your by using your conscious mind, you would be able to then put it into reality, put it into material form. Okay. Or basically you can call it manifestation. Okay. So if you want to put any idea into subconscious, first of all, I hope so you are all clear about the specific principles that we have talked about. Okay. You all guys are clear about like previous thing, right? Okay, previous thing we have just discussed about. I hope so. Okay, because if you do that, then you would be able to use it at your fullest potential. Okay, you can use this method at your fullest potential if you do that. So okay, first you have to understand that your subconscious is a womb. Okay, and your conscious is your filter. Like first, if you enter it, if you put any idea on that subconscious, then if it got like really intense emotion, then what start to happen is it's going to shape your perception of reality. You will start to look for the things that you know help you prove that the idea in your subconscious. So that's why I'm telling you again and again that first put that idea inside your mind, okay, inside your subconscious mind, then you know use your logic, and then it will work for you. Otherwise, you will quit in between, or you would quit at like bad times and all, you know and quitting things sucks for some reason. So if you don't want to quit things, you have to always put the idea in your subconscious first. Okay, then it's going to create a filter, a paradigm, and then your perception is going to shift. Then your decisions are also going to shift because of that. Okay, because once the idea enters your subconscious, then you know you'd be able to look out for particular situations that is going to help you actually put that thing into reality. Like you would be able to easily find the ideas that is going to help you to manifest it on reality. Okay, but the manifestation is kind of buzzword, so make sure you don't have like any bad association with it, because almost everyone uses this mindset stuff, so you don't have to worry about you know like or being skeptical about like will this thing work for me or not, because almost everyone visualize, everyone manifest. Okay, even the skeptics, or you know whoever you want to call it, they all use these kind of mental practices, and they don't have any bad rep for it. Like either they will tell you to control your thoughts, or they will tell you to control your emotions. They all are just spiraling back to this whole gender thing. Okay, the two parts of the brain. So if you want to do that, okay, like if you want to actually put any idea on your subconscious, there was a particular thing called lullaby method. Okay, and you have to do it before sleep, and you have to do it before sleep until you pass. Okay, because in a sleep you enter a point where you know you no longer can hold the visualization, and you just pass out, so you have to do it until that point. So the first thing you have to do is you have to pick a mantra that sum up your manifestation. It can be like, isn't it wonderful, I have manifested XYZ. Isn't it wonderful to XYZ. And you have to also pick a mantra that you're going to do it on exhale, that reflect like you're releasing all your blocks. Okay, for example, letting go. Okay, I'm letting go of it, I'm releasing it, kind of like that. And you inhale for 5 and you exhale for 12. You have to do it from your nose, by the way. And as you inhale, you feel that particular feeling, and as you exhale, you release all your block, and you do it until you reach a point where you're about to pass out in your sleep. Then at that point you start visualizing. Okay, that is the point of gnosis. That is the point where you can put that idea on your unconscious from the subconscious. And once you are doing it again and again for a particular idea, I'm recommending you to first pick Yep, like a formation can say. But when you are passing, okay, when you're passing out to sleep, make sure that you start visualizing when you're about to pass to your sleep. Okay, like the point where you're just about to pass out, you know, pass out to your sleep. Then you start visualizing there. Before that, you just have to inhale that emotion and exhale the block. Okay, and you do it for one idea for a long period of time, and every day every day I will give you an exercise that is going to help you also practice your, you know, the masculine side of your brain, the eye of Ra, the the part of brain, the testosterone head, whatever you want to call it, is you always have to look for guidance and synchronicity throughout day. Okay, you have to always now look for the opportunities to make that come true. There was a particular thing about Kanye West. Okay, that is, he has a self belief that is really unshakable, and it is a common pattern in almost every peak performer. If you have listened, Ronaldo and Khabib, or whoever you watch, okay, that is performing at his peak, they'll always tell themselves like tell themselves tell themselves like, I'm the best. Okay, they always have that self belief. It's not narcissistic, by the way. It's about knowing your limits. Like, you're way more capable than you ever think of. You just need to hit. You just have to hit it once. You just have to hit big once, and then that experience will you know show you your limits. Okay, so you have to have that Kanye West level of self belief. You always have to look for opportunities in your day and ideas that give you that give you that information, or idea that is possible for you. There was a particular there was a particular part of you know s- speech from one of the Jim Rohn's speeches, that he told you to set a goal for 1 million. Like, his mentor Earl Sheroff told him, by the way, that to Jim Rohn, that set a goal for 1 million, not because you want 1 million, but the person you will become with that 1 million is going to rest stay for rest of your life, because the person you will become by hitting 1 million, that one impossible thing, is always going to work as a cookie jar. Okay, as if you have read Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, like, he talk about, like, knowing your accomplishment, like, putting a cookie jar of accomplishment something. Then uh, if that you have that one big cookie in that cookie jar, then that thing will stay for rest of your life, and it will always keep you reminded that you are way more capable than you have ever think of. There was a particular effect in psychology. It's called the roger benis roger Bannister effect, I think so. Like, he's the first one who have hit 4 minute mile run. Then before that, no one have ever did it, by the way. Then after him hitting that, everyone you know start to break their limits. Why? Because of self belief. Okay. If you have heard, okay, I would recommend you to watch any interview from your top performer. It can be Ronaldo. They all have that internal affirmation of, I'm the best, I can do whatever I want, because the only limit you have is your mind. Okay. And once you use that subconscious principle, the law of gender one, and if you have if you look for the things that the you know prove the idea that that thing is possible, then you're going to break your limits every time, because you just have to hit it once. Okay, you just have to hit it once, and once you hit it once, then the experience that you'll get from hitting it once is going to remain with you forever. The person that will become from hitting that particular goal, that big goal once, the person you will become with it is going to be, it's going to be like a beast. After that, you will start to break almost every limit you have because you know that you have hit it once. You know, just let me show you that video from Jim Rohn, by the way. Okay. By the way, Jim Rohn is a really, like really inspiring guy. Like he too have a net worth of around 500 million something. Then he mentored Tony Robbins too, who has like net worth of around 600 million something. And the Earl share of itself have hit 1 million at his time within a year. So I think you guys should take this particular thing seriously. Because the Earl of guy is also kind of you know practicer of metaphysics. Like he also used to do this kind of mindset stuff where he used to visualize and do this kind of exercises. So yep, I think this is the video, right?
Now he said, what's important is not the money. Mr. Schoaf gave me one of the greatest phrases when I first met him when he said, Jim, every day stand guard at the door of your mind. How important. Stand guard at the door of your mind. Mr. Schoaf gave me one of the greatest phrases when I first met him when he said, Jim, every day stand guard at the door of your mind. How important. Stand guard at the door of your mind. Mr. Schoaf gave me one of the greatest phrases when I first met him when he said, Jim, every...
Okay. I hope so. That was the video. No, that's not the video, by the way. There was another one. Yep. I think this one.
And I had one of the greatest lessons I ever learned, and I'm about to share it with you. This will be worth the price of being here today if you can capture what I'm about to share with you. Here's what Mr. Schoaf said. Set a goal to become a millionaire. And he said, here's why. For what it will make of you to achieve it. And I got one of the greatest classes in one sentence I've ever received in my life. Set a goal that'll make you stretch that far. For what it will make of you to achieve it. What a brand new reason for setting goals. And here's why. The greatest value in life is not what you get. The greatest value in life is what you become. And I had one.
So you just have to hit it once, you just have to hit something impossible once. And what about a Kanye downfall after having so much self-belief? Well, I don't think, Kanye has any downfall. It's mainly related to, being himself. And I think he's mostly around people who don't, give him any good direction. I hope so. Well, and I don't think Kanye have any downfall. Okay, he's still rich. He's not broke, and he still visit his children's. Okay, visit his daughter. And if we talk about him broken with Kim, well, Kardashians, right? You know what kind of people Kardashians are. So I don't think Kanye have any downfall. He just, he he's just expressing himself too much. I think that's what you want to say. And when you express something too much, and you start to, show your dark side too much, then it's always going to feel weird to other people. Like if you start to share your darkest thinking, then people will call you weird, right? I think that's the case. By the way, you should have that self belief that you can do almost everything. Because the only limit you are going to have is, you know, yourself. You have to always look for the proofs that make that idea kind of, kind of real. Because if you get any idea from the universe, like if you have entered that deep state and you have implanted the idea in your subconscious using all the principles that I have discussed in this in this session, and you got an idea. Okay, you got an idea that can really make you a millionaire or something, and because of the fear you know you just didn't bother doing it because that feel really odd, and you thought that how can this thing even work. You have to make things work, right? There was no good time. There was you know the only thing that you can change is yourself. There were people who were like making billions at recessions. Okay, recessions and market crashes. And there were also people who are uh, you know who are like losing everything even after having that good economic times. Although there were no good economic times, by the way. Okay, it depends on how people perceive them. Okay, people just have a habit. Okay, people just have a habit to you know cry and not change themselves. Like they just don't want to help themselves. Like that's the problem. They don't want to change themselves. So I hope you guys are clear with it. Okay, so now we have our last part, then we are going to end it. Yep. Now let's talk about sex transmutation, celibacy. Of course you shouldn't you know keep wasting on your seed, because that's actual energy that you know that's actual energy that can literally create life. And the thing about this thing is, most people who try to do this kind of retention thing, usually fail, not because they that they can't you know they can't retain it, or they don't have that dignity and all, but they usually fail because their vessel was unable to hold that energy, that particular energy. Okay, if you any of you have ever tried you know this celibacy stuff, you relapse not because you don't have any dignity and all, but it because of you reach a point where your energy becomes like really really you know really really what we can call that, it becomes really uncontrollable. Like, that you know that energy is there, you're saving it, you also know the fact that you are not going to do that deed. But the thing is, the energy becomes really 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 uncontrollable, that your body even can't hold it. And you know it's like having like really really big energy, nuclear energy within yourself, and you just don't know like what to do with that energy. So you waste on you know that kind of things, or you waste on games, or do your addictions to balance out that energy. And if you want to fix it, you have to breathe upwards. Okay, the only way you can channel that thing, you can call it ether if you want. you have to channel it upwards. And how you are going to channel it upwards is by breathing to transcendence. Your brain has something called, the cerebrospinal fluid, okay, CSF, and the the pineal gland in your, in your brain actually has some kind of crystals, and if that CSF is pumped to it, then crystal activates and it start to work like antenna and all. So you have to breathe to transcendence, you have to breathe upwards, okay. And I will give you a simple exercise like how you can do it, okay. It's not the whole exercise, it's just a warm up I teach on my mentorship, by the way. And I'm giving you that particular source for free. And if you want to join, then of course you can join it. You know, I'm I will be giving you a hell lot of dope sauce there, even better than this shit I have, I have shared with you guys in this session. So a particular simple exercise that you can do is, first you have to label your animalistic natures, okay. What you can call is lust, okay. Any yeah, animalistic nature that feel like you are losing your soul, okay. It feels like you are becoming you're becoming an animal, okay. When you do that kind of behaviors, okay, you feel like you are becoming more of an animal than, transcending and feeling happy and all. So you have to catch and label this kind of behaviors when that happens. And what you have to do at that time is you have to pump that CSF up, okay. You have to pump that CSF up from, your your root to brain from your spine, or your root to your pineal gland to your spine. I mean, your root to your brain from your spine. So what you can do, this is a warm-up exercise again, I'm telling you. This is not that actual framework, but it is going to help you, to feel that kind of basic transmutation thing. Remember the lullaby exercise we have done, okay, this one. You have to do the same mantra thing, but now what you have to do is you have to do it while sitting, okay. First you put your spine straight, you flex your, spine a bit, so that, it would be easier for you to do that kind of particular yogic practice, okay. It's also called Mahavanda, by the way, okay. Just wait a second, okay. It's also called Mahabandha, where you just do it by visualizing. Yep, you can visualize if you want, okay. So the first thing, okay, you have to do is you do root lock, or what we say is, what do you call it is as Mula Bandha. You clench your pelvic floor, and as you clench your pelvic floor, you breathe, okay. You breathe and extend your spine, so that your spine becomes kind of C-shaped, okay. And once you inhale, you know you set an intention to, pump that CSF up to your pineal gland. And as you exhale, you just, release your spine, and you do it over and over again without gaps for maybe 30 to 40 times. And this time you inhale from your nose and exhale from your mouth without any gaps. And then after that you just relax, okay. You just relax, and you take a nap or do whatever you want, because at that time you will feel some kind of calmness because of that, okay. So this is the basic exercise you can do in order to control that thing, and it's going to really help you in this retention practices. And last thing, okay, last thing, and the last this is our last part, that is your awareness, okay. Your awareness, or your consciousness is your god, okay. Because anything you will think will get reflected to your 3D reality, okay. There was multiple way to process some particular thing, and if you have a particular system that process, a cybernetic system that process that thing really well, then it would be really easier for you to, I mean, it will help you to get through your life in a cheat code mode. Okay, like you won't be able to focus much, or I mean, what I trying to say is you won't be putting your attention much on the things that you don't want if you have a good cybernetic system, because whatever you think or in your subconscious is going to reflect it on your real reality. Like even if the thing is near you, you're going to see it differently, and that's going to really help you. And as your perception shift, you also know that your decision is going to change and is going to create a really different feedback from it. So so put good things in your consciousness, the thing you consume, and the things you watch. Okay, don't try to consume anything that is not in your favor. Okay, try to literally block it from your senses. And also there was a thing about devil. And what is devil, by the way? So there was a particular thing, okay, that is called the scale of consciousness. Okay, so you know so the thing about this scale of consciousness is, okay, so this is the part where you call it the higher self, and this is the part you call it the lower self. So instead of neutrality, you can call it human. Okay, higher, lower, human. Okay, so always try your best to maintain like a higher consciousness level. Okay, and how are you going to do that? Well, it's really simple. You won't even believe me that it is that simple. And you know to increase your level of consciousness, that is, just forgive people. Okay, just keep on forgiving yourself and forgiving other people, and you trust on your ideals. Okay, you trust on what you want to believe. And trust, I mean, at that point you have to put trust on something, right? If you can't trust something, then you are literally operating from this lower level of consciousness, and you're going to feel like really bad. So when you feel yourself like, the reality or the 3D reality is going to always put you in this you know animal aspect or survival mode, whatever you want to call it. And it will always try to keep on keeping you the keep on putting you in this lower consciousness level. Then if you want to just increase your level of consciousness, just forgive people, forgive yourself for what you did, and just trust something. It can be anything. You have to rebuild your trust in order to you know increase your level of consciousness. Trust anything, whoever you want to trust, but trust. You have to rebuild your nervous system again in order to be able to trust people again. Okay, and it's a skill, by the way. Being able to trust is a skill. So what I would recommend you is to first trust something, in the some idea. Okay, some idea in your mind, and once you keep on hitting that standards, and once it become normalized, then you start to form trust. Like you set a lower standard first, then once you start to hit that standard again and again, then once you know you reach a point where you know that you are you know hitting it really well, then now you are at the state of trust. You have to trust somebody. Okay, you have to trust somebody, something higher than yourself. Now trust your visions. Okay, trust your vision. That's the best thing you can do. Like, have faith. you know Forgive others, trust, have faith, and at last ask for guidance. Okay, whenever you find yourself being confused on something, the first thing you should do is to ask anyone, ask yourself, go on silence, ask your mind, but you have to ask when you're confused. Okay, don't try to do everything by yourself. That's these are the only three minimalistic thing you have to do in order to you know fight with that 3D reality. And even I'm telling you, just forgive whatever happens in your 3D reality and move on to forgiving people and trusting things and asking for guidance. It would be automatic, uh you know reach to your higher state of consciousness. Okay, what's CSF? It's cerebrospinal fluid. Like, it is a particular fluid that uh you know s- keep on moving through your spine to your brain and to your body in a 24-hour cycles. And if you can accelerate the pump, then once it reaches your brain, then it activates your kind of particular clarity. Okay, particular clarity, you start to get like really dope ideas. Things start to get clear, things start to get better, and your brain fog start to get clear, and all this thing happens physiologically. Okay, so I hope so that thing is clear. I hope so you guys enjoyed it. And if you're interested, like, you can just hit me up for you know personal mentorships and all. Okay, personal mentorship or group mentorship, if you want me to teach you specifically on these particular topics and guide you, and it will help you achieve your goals faster with this mindset tools and all. So that's it. Okay, I hope so you guys have got my point here, and it was a nice session. It was good, right? It was good. It was it was dope. And don't worry, I will make the recording public, so you don't have to care about recording. You all guys will be getting the recording, so you don't have to worry about it. So that's it. And make sure to join the Nero, not Nero, I mean Neo Masterclass 2 for the AI automations and these kind of things. I don't know what he's going to teach, by the way, but he's dope. He have worked with Amazon, and he has been a kind of uh y- you know uh, he used to have a good post in Amazon too, I think so. you know he has a good portfolio. He has run some various agencies, and he has a good portfolio, so I think so he's really credible to teach you this stuff. So that's it. Bye, guys.